the trust level here is just too low. People don't really believe when government come out to say anything. And so you see enough disputation because the intents are not communicated adequately and properly. Maybe they also will need to really tell us. When you say you are charging service, what is the value added really in service fee for a money transfer? So if you are saying you are going to charge all electronic transfer, for example, so what is the value addition that you're actually taxing?
This is SOUQ Business Landscape. The federal government has directed banks and fintech companies to collect and remit 7.5% value-added tax on selected electronic banking services, effective Monday, January 19, 2026. Payment platforms disclosed the directive in customer emails, signaling a nationwide rollout covering routine digital transaction processed through regulated financial channels. Now, according to notices shared by MoneyPoint on Wednesday, the tax applies to electronic banking charges. Again, to electronic banking charges, including mobile money transfers, USSD transaction fees, and card issuance costs. The VAT is charged on service fee itself. Now, let's get ourselves up to date. The VAT is charged on service fee itself, not on the value of funds transferred between customers. Let's understand this before people go to the market and peddle news that is not true. VAT is charged on service fee charged by the banks, not on funds transferred between customers. For example, if 100 naira transfer charge is deducted or attract an additional 7.5% VAT. Now, this will increase the total fee paid. Simple. So banks are expected to adjust pricing, disclosure, and remittance system immediately as authorities seek to widen tax net and improve non-oil revenue collection through digital finance usage across formal financial system nationwide from Monday onward fully. Before we brought this up, a lot of people that have access to cameras, which everybody does, and a ring light went to the market and started misinforming people. Yes, there is a new VAT for bank charges, but please, Doc, can you use your elderly voice and tell people to stop misinforming people? Please. That the VAT is not for my money I'm sending. Because the money you'll be sending to me today for lunch, there is no VAT charge on it.
Well, there's a whole lot of damage control that will need to be done in that regard as to people understanding, because the trust level here is just too low. People don't really believe when government come out to say anything. And so you see enough disputation because the intents are not communicated adequately and properly. Maybe they also will need to really tell us. When you say you are charging service, what is the value added really in service fee for a money transfer?
That's for the banks themselves.
Yeah, but because the principle of VAT is that there's something that is processed and the value is added to it. And because of that value added, then we have to charge that value. So what is the value addition here? So these are things that government must need to clarify people. So if you're saying you're going to charge all electronic transfer, for example, so what is the value addition that you're actually taxing?
So they are taxing the charges made by the bank.
Yeah, so what is the value addition there?
Should the banks answer that?
Yeah, you see, but I think it's the government who is putting the VAT.
Okay.
You see, what this will do in the long run is also taking us some step backward where people have to deliberately avoid e-channels, and then you are frustrating your financial inclusion drive, and you're also frustrating, the design by government to ensure that we operate a cashless economy. It will take you tons and tons of weeks to be able to explain to a woman in the village that it is not the money that she's putting in the bank that is being charged, or the money that is using USB to transfer. So it will return us back to a cash economy, which is really not good for us. I think government can look at for things that really make a lot of meaning, especially when we are doing this back and forth. See, I learned NRSC met with KPMG that day while we were looking at some of the provisions. I think there are a lot of things that need clarification. So while government is actually looking for more money, I think it must be done decently so that people can understand what these things are for and why they have to pay it. That's the only way. So if you say, okay, you're going to take the charge from who? Service charge, the bank is charging it. So if you do a VAT plus a 25 that is taken from your money, it's still your money, not the bank's money.
So if 25 naira is taken from my money for the transaction,
you are sending 5,000 and the bank is taking 25 naira from your bank. So the VAT is 7.5 of 25. So you will add it to the 25. So the charges move from 25 to about 37 or 35 naira or whatever it may be. So you're still charging the person who is putting money in the bank. You're actually adding to his burden. Now, why are you adding to the burden? They put this money in the bank, interests are not added.
Interests are added, but insignificant.
So you put 10 million in the bank, and in a month, you can't get 5,000.
Okay.
So what are the charges for? So there's no value additions. And I think these are the things that government need to actually address. And those who are proposing, because I don't believe that there should be over taxation. But when tax makes sense, people naturally will pay. Everybody is paying VAT, whether we like it or not.
One way or the other.
So we go to the market and we see where food are processed, people pay VAT. People go to eat in eatery, you know that there's a procession and addition of value to it. People pay VAT. So we must be on issues that are quite definite and not just be looking for avenue to take money from the people.
Okay. Olumide, I'm getting this back to you now. How are fintechs going to deal with this? Because majorly they are the ones that are making this sort of banking easier for the unbanked. How are they most likely going to deal with it? Because this is the easiest thing for them to do. Yeah, it's just like writing one code and just dropping it there.
It's going to be easy for them. It's also an avenue for them to just step up their game. I know even before now, money banks, if you go to a POS, I'm talking about the 15 naira stamp duty. If you want to send 10,000 naira, people have gotten around that. They'll just tell you send 9,900 and some. So that's what people actually do. So people always try to find a way around it. But like Doc said, it still reflect back on the people themselves. You are taxing the people. And whether you like it or not, we would always pay VAT. You can't escape it. But like Doc said, what is that value that we are talking about? For the fintechs, it's easy. It's easy for them. It's, like you said, they just write the code and every other thing. And people are already aware.
Are people aware?
Well, they have been misinformed. But what we are doing now is, trying to get rid of that misinformation and tell them that this is actually what is. But people are actually prepared. They have prepared their minds for this. It's just for us to now clarify that doubt or that misinformation that no, this is not. They are not taxing the whole money. It's just what they are taxing the VAT on that.
Okay, let me give you let's paint this particular picture. Tayo in Balogu market. Tayo is selling shoes or ladies' bags. He is going to get customers in hundreds on daily basis. And out of this 100, 50 or 60% to do transfers. So on each of these transfers, he's being charged.
Yes. Even without transfer, if you go to the market these days now and you want to make payment, they have a POS. Now, I don't know the agreement with that. They have that, but they will tell you, oh, you have to pay 100 naira. Sometimes I decline because I tell them that I should be able to transfer to you directly and make my payment. I should not have to pay extra 100 naira because I'm paying you for a service. So sometimes if you negotiate well, they'll tell you, okay, don't worry, I'll waive that 100 naira off and all that. So it all boils down to how do you want to now liaise with your customers? How do you want to now explain it? But I think most people are aware. The major thing now is how can we get a way around it?